what's up? Red Panda Anthem. Red Panda, what's good?
Tomorrow's a big day. It is the midterm elections, and there's a lot of talk, and it's a very pivotal race. A lot of governors, Senate race, congressmen, a lot going on. A lot of people already voted, early voting. But if you didn't vote early, then you can vote tomorrow. So I was talking to 19 Keys yesterday.
I was just going, should we even be voting?
Yes. So I was talking 19 Keys yesterday. So first of all, shout out to Jamal Bowman.
Yes.
He is our congressman. Good dude.
Yeah, 16th district?
Yes.
Yes.
Very good dude. We had a great conversation with him, an extremely educational conversation with him. So 19 Keys put a post up, and I don't want to misquote him, but he was pretty much saying that voting is not the end all be all answer to the situation.
Yes.
And he got some pushback from people saying, like, you got to vote. It's very important to vote. It's ignorant to say not to vote.
Pushback.
But here's the deal. And I actually had a good conversation with him. I had an epiphany when speaking to Jamal Bowman, is that voting actually is beneficial. It actually is important, but it's only half of the equation. That's what they don't tell you.
Now, what is the other half of the equation, Rashad?
Cliffhanger. Are you on the edge of your seat, ladies and gentlemen?
Right?
Tune in next week.
Move closer to the screen.
Come to the Square Garden. So
one small part.
So there's these things called PACs, right? Political action committees, and then they have SuperPACs, right? So these are what's called lobbying groups. And Washington government is controlled by lobbyists. You have very strong lobbyists you have the NRA, which is the gun, obviously National Rifle Association, extremely strong lobby. You have the pro-life lobby, very, very strong. You have pro-choice lobby, very strong. You have AIPAC, which is the lobby for the state of Israel, which I was told by congressman is the strongest lobby out of any lobby. You have a variety of different lobbies. You have all kinds. You have the tobacco lobby. You got the insurance lobby. You got the pharmaceutical lobby, healthcare lobby. You got so many different lobbies, right? So here's the thing that people need to understand.
I'm gonna do what Troy's doing. I'm gonna sip some water real quick.
So voting is important, right? Because it's like, people, you have to have elected officials. But when he's talking to the congressman, and he said his first day in office last year, he got like 100 calls from the pro-life lobby. They put a lot of pressure on him. And he's like, every single day his office gets calls and emails from all kinds of different lobbies. The one group that he's never gotten a call or email from is a black lobby. Because there is none. So this is the problem, right?
Small ones, but just
none significant.
Significant ones, yep.
So this is the problem, right? You keep encouraging people to vote, but there's no pressure put on politicians to do anything. So this is why it's a perpetual cycle of frustration, because we're getting politicians elected, but we don't have enough economic power or enough wherewithal or enough even education to know what to do when they get elected or even before they get elected. So other groups are actually using our voting block, because we do have a significant voting block. They're using our voting power to get politicians elected to further their agendas. So the conversation that needs to be had now is not just voting. It's a conversation of political action committee and having a black super PAC, where now you can financially put pressure on politicians and force them to do things as opposed to just waiting for them to do something.
Or hoping that
That's
they'll do something.
yes, that's the
Yeah.
part of the equation that nobody's talking about. And the thing about it is, just drilling down on this situation even further. The problem is that, like, so if you got a super PAC like the pro-life, that their thing is just one issue, right? Or pro-gun lobby, that's one issue, or whatever the lobby is. They have one issue, singular. Where Black people, it's like 150 different issues, and nobody agrees on anything, so it's extremely difficult, right? But you focus on one issue. So let's pick an issue that everybody can kind of at least agree upon on some level. Like
Let's not
reparations.
say it,
Don't say it. Why?
That's out the
Why not
bag. Go
say
ahead.
it? Well, we said it on the episode. So I feel like if we have a super PAC on reparations, right? That's something that mostly everybody can agree upon. And you raise money. It doesn't even take that much money. Say $50 million is a nice super PAC. So now you have, all of the top athletes, entertainers, businessmen, and then regular people, grassroots. You should be able to raise that amount of money. And now you hand select the politicians that you want to run campaigns for, and then you put extreme economic pressure on them when they're in office, that if they don't do what you want to be done, they're not going to be in office next year. You're not going to fund their campaign. You're going, this dirty game, you run smear campaigns against them. This is what actually is really happening in real life. And now you become a more savvy block of voters, as opposed to just voting blindly with no real agenda to push and no real economic engine behind it. So there's a very involved conversation, but I think it's important to have, especially around election day, because I don't think that people are fully aware or educated on the political process, and they have good intentions, and they think that they're going out and they're voting, and that's something that is going to be beneficial, and it can be, but as a whole, collectively, it's really not. And this is why we're not making the same progress that other people are making in the political realm. So it's important to be educated on that, and it's important to take steps forward to kind of correct the situation.
Yeah.
I'm not a political expert, but Aaron does have a good quote in here that voting does have an impact, but money is way more impactful. Last week, I told you guys to check out Carl Icahn's documentary on HBO Max. So he would be called a corporate takeover artist or activist investor. What Rashad is proposing is the same process pretty much in a political landscape. Going back to that quote, power, money to get power, and then the power to then protect the money. It is an ongoing cycle. So when you see an activist investor come in like Icahn, and Icahn is really the reason why Apple has had the growth that it's had the last 7 years in the stock market. He organized a group of people and met with Tim Cook and said, hey, if we can put this plan together, I will back you and put all of my dollars behind you. And as a result, the shareholders of Apple have benefited greatly. I being one of them. Thank you, Carl Icahn. We have to do the same thing in our community. So if you need a blueprint that has worked well at scale in corporate, that documentary is a great one. And other corporate takeover artists have tried to do similar things, but he's the most successful one. So interesting to say the least, but I'm staying out of the political realm.
And the thing about it is you can't be partisan either. These PACs, the PACs are not partisan. They'll back whoever is for their agenda. So it's like APAC, they'll put money in Republican campaigns, they'll put money in Democratic campaigns. The common theme is what they want accomplished. So it's like if you have an issue, you can't be held hostage to one political party. That's another problem.
Yes.
You have to have an open playing field, and whoever is going to push the agenda forward, that is who the money goes behind. That's extremely important. And also, it's important to hold these politicians accountable, because like he was telling us, the Congressional Black Caucus, I think there's like 46 members in the Congressional Black Caucus, which is the congressman. So he was saying right now, just with the Congressional Black Caucus, if they wanted to say, we're not voting because Congress passes laws. They vote on laws. If we're not voting on any law until reparations gets passed or reparations gets brought up, they can literally shut down the government. Just the black people in Congress with no outside help. They have enough in Congress right now.
Mhm.
He was like, the problem is that the backlash that'll come from that.
Yeah, so who's gonna finance them after they get fired?
Yeah, but as of right now, they have enough numbers to shut the government down right now and really force a real conversation on that issue. And I'm just using reparations because that's just a really,
don't get choked up. It's okay. We with you.
No, I'm just saying that it could be a variety. It could be criminal justice reform. It could be whatever, right?
Mhm.
So it's like, but most people don't even know that. Most people don't even understand how Congress works, the difference between Congress and the Senate and, the presidency and
House and Senate.
governor. No, it's the House of Representatives and Senate.
Yeah, and that's
not the House of
Congress.
Senate. The House and the Senate.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's Congress.
So a lot of people aren't fully aware of the educational process, but it's important. It's very important. And the voting thing, and like I said, I spoke to 19 Keys about this, and we had a very good conversation. And he's agreed with me that voting is important, but not in the way that we think about it. And I think a lot of people that are just, telling people just vote. I think they have good intentions.
Yes.
But they might not be fully informed on what really creates change.
Voting with having no demands is the equivalent of being an activist in a company and owning no equity or no shares of a company. It is a wasted venture or endeavor.
Yeah. I mean,
So
needless to say, the episode is going to be very powerful. So make sure you check it out. And we talked about just the last point of it is like we saw 141 million people vote in the general election. 141 people, right? Obviously, Joe Biden had the majority vote there, but when it comes to midterm elections, people could care less. And it's the strangest thing. Like even when he talked about his journey to become a congressman and the lack of people that voted for the incumbent, it was just like, wait, that's all you needed? That's it?
Mhm.
Because people just don't really take midterm elections as seriously as they can. And these are the elections that can affect your everyday life. Yes, the presidential election is important, but these local elections are affecting your every
way more
day,
impact.
like your every single day.
Mhm.
And we still don't we don't know the information. We don't know who's running. We just get up and we say, all right, I'm going to vote today. And it's like, yo, that affects your life way more than you voting for the president.
Yeah. But Jamal Bowman,
The dude,
good dude. He does not take any PAC money or any corporation money. So, and he actually had enough common sense to sit down with us. You would think that that was 19 Keys situation. 19 Keys was like, yo, we got all this influence, we bringing all these people, and the politicians not even taking the time to even have a conversation with us. But you have to credit the ones that actually do. And he is somebody, I mean, he's our congressman for our district, which is
16.
part of the Bronx, and then it's Westchester,
North Bronx, North Vernon, New Rochelle,
White Plains, Greenburgh. He's black guy. Obviously, his name is Jamal.
Former principal.
Former principal from the Bronx. But just a very, he opened my eyes, at least, to a lot of the things, a lot of stuff I knew, but sometimes somebody tells it to you. And, he opened my eyes to a lot. And definitely a good dude. So if you're in those areas, you should vote for him.
This that Red Panda Anthem. Ian, what's up? This that Red Panda Anthem. Red Panda, what's good? Red Panda Anthem. Your boy going up. I know they can't stand it.